Jesus was establishing and speaking and doing things. It was amazing. Theophilus. Now, I wrote to you in the first book about Jesus and the things he did and what he taught, from the beginning to his ascension, and a little bit before when the Holy Spirit came. And he informed and taught a group, and he suffered, died, rose, and revealed himself alive to the group, and they were astonished. Well, now for 40 days they saw him, and it was clear that he was alive. And he taught them during that time, and Jesus said to them not to leave Jerusalem, but to stay there. And he informed them, he said, there's a gift that God has promised you, and so you need to wait in the city until he gives it to you. He said John would baptize people in water. Now understand, you all have a different baptism. This will be power from God and the filling of the Holy Spirit. So a little while later, the group was talking amongst themselves, and they asked Jesus a question. They said, Lord, for a long time now, Israel's been controlled by people from the outside. Now, are you taking back control of Israel? Jesus answered, and he said, look, you're all concerned about when's the exact timing. Look, don't worry. That's God's responsibility, and he's the only one who can decide that. So, be focused on the fact that you're going to receive power and boldness from the Holy Spirit to speak about me. Where will you do this? In Jerusalem, surrounding areas, out in Samaria, and further out to every part of the world. And they looked at him, and then he was done speaking. Jesus started to ascend into the sky, and he raised up into the clouds, and the group were watching as he went, and the clouds raised up with him, and they couldn't see him. But then 2 men wearing white appeared and came up. Said, hey, why are you looking in the sky? You see how Jesus went up? Well, in the future, he's going to come back the same way. So, the group, when they were finished looking, they traveled to Jerusalem. Now, the route was about the same as the distance you would walk on the Sabbath. So the group traveled together to a large building, and they were together in an upper level. Now, who was there? Well, it was Peter, John, James, Matthew, Philip, Bartholomew, Simon the Zealot, and someone's brother. They were praying together as a group. And brothers were there together praying. So a little while later, the brothers and sisters were there, about 120, and Peter addressed the group and said, "Men, brothers, you know that Judas led a group of men, and he informed on Jesus so they could capture him. Now, a long time ago, this was spoken about and written by the Holy Spirit through prophecy that it had to happen. Well, why? Well, we all included, he did work with us. He received money, bought land. It happened that he fell, and his head struck the ground hard, and his entrails spilled out, and he died there in the field. Now this happened, and people in the surrounding area heard about it. And they named the area a word which means blood in the soil. Now, a long time ago, it said that would happen. This house, there wouldn't be anyone living in it. And it said that the responsibility of control would be taken from him and given to another person. So, who is the other person? Well, our group up till now, we've been together watching everything that Jesus has done. And we met from John's baptism all the way up to Jesus' ascension, all during that time. We've all seen that. So we need to bring someone into our group who's also been with Jesus that same time to speak about what he's done. So they all agreed, and they offered up 2 men. Justus and Matthias. And they prayed to Jehovah, and the group said, "God, you know these men's hearts. Choose between these 2. We don't know. Give the responsibility that was on Judas, that he spurned, and give that responsibility to one of these 2 men. But we need you to tell us which one." So they cast lots, and the identity of the man was revealed. They chose Matthias, and from then on, he was brought in to join the 11.